These are deceptively powerful practices. And this is something that whenever our body makes changes, whenever our body breaks out of the old ways of being, whenever our body is in a new shape, a new structure, a new form, many times it can get pretty sore because it's not used to being like that. Number one, and then number two. Our body is used to being in the other way, and whenever it's no longer needing to be in the other way, the brain starts to recognize that how destructive the other way was, and then we start to feel, because it's no longer necessary, our brain's like, oh man, I really overworked that part of myself. So getting back into thank you for sharing, Amory. That was awesome. Love these comments. This really helps me to connect and know where people are, so I can speak to that. So stage five again is merging with the illusions and recognizing that the reality that we experience is completely and 100% a fabrication of our brain. Nobody is actually seeing their computer in front of them. What they're actually seeing is whenever the light waves, whenever the photons come and they bounce off of the atoms of our computer screen, and it bounces back and it hits this portion of our body. At the very back of our eye, we have these little sensors called rods and cones, and those sensors measure the frequency and the rate and the speed of the vibration of those photons. And whenever those rods and cones get stimulated, they create an electrical and chemical cascade that flows through different parts of our brain, ultimately to this back part, or visual cortex. And then that creates a whole nother cascade that goes up to our ability to be aware of things much more closer to our prefrontal cortex. And the picture of what we think our computer looks like, or what we think the world around us, is literally based on our brain interpreting or guessing what those frequencies of light most likely mean, based largely on the information that we've already gathered in the past. So everything that we feel, everything that we think, everything that we experience about the world around us is a creation, is an illusion created in our brain. We do not have the ability to actually experience the outside world. We just experience ourselves interpretation of that. So recognize that because of that, our experience is incredibly malleable. We have the ability to influence our experience way, way more than most of us have been led to believe, and than most of us believe anyway. So owning that what we experience is an illusion gives us the ability to play with that illusion rather than to be a victim of it. Well, this just is the way that the world is. Well, maybe, but you have the ability to change how you experience that isness. So stage 5 is all about merging with the illusion, accepting that there is an illusion, accepting all parts of that experience as an illusion, and becoming much more empowered to be able to say there is some sort of truth behind all of this illusion, behind the appearances, behind the thoughts and the stories that we give to our experiences. Somewhere back there is an actual true reality beyond our experiences, beyond our creation, beyond our illusion. But we have to have enough energy. We have to have enough ability to process lots and lots of information to be able to poke holes in that illusion and to be able to move into it, not away from it, but move into it so that we can move past it and through it. So when we face the shadows of our fears, okay, what we create as these bad parts of the illusion, we have to recognize that the only thing that exists is energy and information. Potential and the information encoded in and around that potential about the possibilities for actualizing that potential. So every thought that we have, every feeling that we have, every pleasure that we have, every pain that we have is just energy and information. And in that, whenever we recognize that there's certain types of energies, there's certain experiences, there's certain things that we have pushed off to the side and say, I don't want to experience that, rather than claiming where our power is, in which I get to have an influence over my experience. It's not this or that. It's the way that I experience this or that that determines whether I'm experiencing pleasure or pain, whether I'm experiencing opportunity or whether I'm experiencing a problem. When we own our ability to influence our experience, we no longer have to push energy and information aside. We no longer have to create these shadows and these dark places that we don't want to look. So stage 5 is about merging with all of that and saying, I am inviting in all that is, because I now claim the ability to change the way that I experience all that is, to change the way that I perceive and I feel about all that is. So anything that we've previously judged, anything that we've previously demonized, this stage 5 is where we're really owning and honing our ability to just be with those parts of reality, to just literally be honest. This stuff is. I experience this stuff this way, but this stuff just is. And maybe it doesn't have to be bad. Maybe it doesn't have to be this thing that I need to avoid. Maybe I can change the way that I experience it. So learning to be with ourselves, especially those parts of ourselves that we have labeled or judged or have been convinced by other people are bad or not good. Being able to be with all those parts of ourselves that we have not wanted to be with in the past opens the door for us to be healed, for us to be whole, for us to be more authentic. But in order to do that, we are going to have to face the fear of being all of those things that we have been afraid of, that we've judged, that we've labeled as bad. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we are those things, but we have to let go of the resistance to really experience ourselves authentically, rather than the inauthentic version that we're trying to create. So we have to confront and accept and embrace all that we've previously avoided, rejected, or judged. Okay? This is how we move and create momentum into transformation of our body and our mind and the information and energy fields around us. So this exercise today involves movement throughout our body. We're going to get our entire body involved in this. All right. So that we can love all of our parts. And when we love all of our parts, we're giving them energy. We're giving them the ability to just be. We're giving them love. We're giving them acceptance. Then they can start to transform into what they always have been, which is a part that has a specific role at a certain time in a certain place. We'll never be able to understand how those different parts of us fit in, when their time and place to shine is, if we're continually rejecting them. So we don't have, and just like in previous stages, we do not have to like all of our parts, not at this phase, okay? But we do need to love all of those parts, which means accepting them. Accepting them, even though we may not understand them. Understanding and acceptance are very, very different things. Many times in life, we spend a lot of time building up a lot of tension and a lot of resistance around certain things because we're like, I can't accept this until I understand. But in reality, the way that our brain works, we will never be able to fully understand something until we accept it as a reality. We're never going to be able to discover something. We're never going to be able to learn about something unless we accept at least the possibility that it exists. If we do not accept the possibility that it exists, we're never going to be able to get the chance to start the discovery process, to dig into it, to lean into it, and to really start to find what is this thing. Okay, so acceptance opens the door to understanding, not the other way around. If we put our energy and our focus into accepting, at some point we may understand. If we hold back accepting until we understand, we will not understand, which is a very backwards way for most of us to go through life. But this is just the way that it is. Our brain has to accept that something is a possibility before it'll allow us to start to sense it, to start to perceive it, and to gather more information about it. So this is the challenge that I'm going to give you before we go through today's exercise is, what are the things in your life? What are the ways of being? What are potential and possible ways that you are, that you have rejected, that you have not accepted as a potential or a possibility? And it doesn't matter why you've accepted them, okay? And it is going to be scary to think of yourself in these ways, because maybe you don't have good experiences with other people that have been in those ways. But what if you just gave yourself permission to be whatever you are just for a little while? Okay, you can always go back to creating the illusion. All right, you've done that up until this point. You're probably pretty good at it. But can you just give yourself permission to just be, even if that beingness you would consider bad or maybe hurtful or ugly or shameful or whatever else it is? Okay, merging with the illusion is not necessarily supposed to be easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. And it's not easy because we have to make a choice to do so. Now, yesterday in stage 4, we drew the line in the sand and we said, this will not continue. No more am I going to play small like this. So yesterday, we already built up the charge to be able to make that decision. Today is about surrendering into that decision and just saying, I am totally ready to accept what really is, rather than the way that I think it should be, or what other people think it should be, or the way that I judge it, or the way that other people judge it. To just be in that real reality. All right. So, what we're going to be asking ourselves today is, what is truly real? What is really real behind all the illusions, behind my ability to perceive and sense things, behind my thoughts and judgments about it, behind our cultural field, behind what we're told through the media and through our parents and through entertainment and through society and through all of the information that we were passed on from our ancestors through our genes. What's really real behind what I've been perceiving as real? Okay, so the basic illusion in life, and this is according to Buddhist tradition, buying into this illusion is the root of all suffering. But the basic illusion in life is the illusion of separateness. The more and more we buy into that illusion, the less we can see the whole. And the less we can see the whole, the more we start to focus on lack. The more we start to focus on not enoughness. Because if we can see things as a whole, we can start to experience, oh my gosh, it is all there. There is an abundance there. But when we stop seeing the whole and we just focus on the little bits and pieces, even if they're the bits and pieces that we like, we are now creating separation. We're now creating division. We're now taking ourselves away from abundance, away from wholeness. So today we're going to lean back into that, and we're just going to sit with the potential and the possibility that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than we have the potential or the ability to be aware of. Okay? So we're going to move through this. And today, we're going to start back with that stage one. Okay. And we're going to move through the different stages really quickly. And these are just to remind our body, remind our mind of what we've already been through. All right. So when you're doing this on your own, you don't necessarily have to go through the different stages like I'm bringing you through right now. But we're kind of building up momentum for ourselves. If you want to do each one of these stages as a standalone, you are totally free to do that. There's no right or wrong way to do this. There's the way that works best for you, and there's the ways that's, just going to be kind of okay. All right. So we're going to start. Everybody relax. Go find a comfortable space. Lay down. You can even sit down for this one, whichever one you want to do. I'm going to give everybody about a minute or so to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pull some things up. All right. So what we're going to do is, again, we're going to start at that very top space. Okay. We're going to breathe right up underneath our hands, right at the very, very top of our chest and sternum, all the way in, and let go all the way out. Look for that place of peace. Look for that place of ease. Look for that place of surrender. Look for that place of home where you can just drop in and totally be swept away by the process itself, where there's no effort, there's no struggling. Full breath in and letting go, looking for that place where you can truly let go and just allow, looking for that place of home, okay? And that place of home can be in the breath. You can find it in the inhale or somewhere in the exhale. It can be in the movement and the full expansion of this spot, in the full relaxation or contraction. It can be in the actual flow of energy as you inhale, flowing down the body, and as you exhale, flowing up and out through the back of the spine and the top of the head. So pay attention to the actual inhale, exhale. Pay attention to the movement. Pay attention to the energy flow. Which one of those can you most easily and effortlessly find that place of total connection, of total ease, of total surrender? Now move to the next spot, which is going to be right over the solar plexus right here, right at the very bottom of the sternum, right where that hard bony turns to soft right over the stomach. Inhale fully. Exhale, letting go, finding that place of peace and ease in the breath and the movement and the energy flow. Paying attention, being with yourself, noticing whenever you start to get a little bit distracted or a little bit disconnected. Now we're going to move down to the belly button, all the way in and all the way out, letting go, finding that place of peace or ease, all the way in fully and all the way out. And now at your own pace, one breath into each one of these three spots. Find today, right here and right now. Doesn't matter what the past is, okay, or was. Doesn't matter what you think. Just be with right here and right now. Which one of these is the easiest and most expansive and the most pleasant and the largest place or space of peace and ease and home and connection? And which one of these three is the most challenging? Which one is numb or disconnected, or you notice that you start getting a little bit distracted around it? Find your favorite. Find the most connected, and then find the one that you have the most challenge with. All the way in and all the way out. Now go to the most connected spot. Really tune in as you let go and surrender into that place of peace and ease. About 3 to 4 full and complete breaths, all the way in and letting go and letting go and letting go. And now move to the least connected, the most troublesome spot. One breath all the way in, feeling that place of peace and ease, feeling the contrast. Now back to your favorite place, all the way in and all the way out. About 3 to 4 full, complete breaths, really focusing on experiencing that place of peace, ease, and connection. Now, one more time, back to that most challenging place. Pay attention, feel the contrast all the way in, all the way out. Now, last time at our favorite spot, 3 to 4 breaths, all the way in, all the way out. Feeling for that place of peace, ease, connection, home, relaxation, dropping in. Now take one hand and keep it over your favorite place. Put the other hand palm directly over that spot that's the most challenging. Breathe into your favorite spot all the way in. Feel for that place of peace and ease all the way out. Breathe right up underneath your least favorite or least connected spot all the way in. Let go. Feel that place of peace and ease. Back to the favorite spot all the way in and all the way out. Then one breath in the least favorite or least connected all the way in, all the way out, back and forth. One full inhale and exhale. One full expansion and contraction. One full flow all the way in and all the way out to the favorite spot. And then switching to the least favorite spot, back and forth, back and forth, all the way in and all the way out, all the way in and all the way out. Developing that rhythm, allowing the body to start to take over, back and forth, really focusing on one at a time, as if the energy, as if the breath, as if the movement were flowing back and forth in between those two areas. Now breathe into both simultaneously. Fill them up like they're sharing the breath, movement, and energy all the way out, all the way in, filling up both, breathing into both, flowing into both, all the way out. Last time, all the way in, fully, and all the way out. Now take both hands, palm over palm, and put them both over the least connected, the most challenging spot. Okay, feel that sensation that made this area the most challenging. Breathing in the nose and out the mouth, really tuning into that stuckness, tuning into that tension, tuning into whatever sensation made this the most challenging. And now we're going to increase it. I want you to make that sensation louder. I want you to make it denser. I want you to twist it to the right, to the left, squeeze it, push it, pull it, make it more intense. Make the sound of the stuckness. Oh, so freaking stuck all the way. And relax. Acknowledge that this area is not a bad part. It is your inner child. Your inner child that was not able to receive something that it needed, was not able to express something that it is, and it got rejected, it got abandoned, it got put in the corner, it was forced to grow up, and it's throwing a temper tantrum. It's uncomfortable, it's challenging, it's tense, not because it's trying to punish you, but instead it's trying to get your attention because it needs some love. You need some love. This part of you needs some tender, loving acceptance and care and awareness. Allow yourself to be with this wounded, injured part of you. This part of you in which the energy and information has been bound up, has been stuck, has been rejected, and it's not able to be embraced by the whole. Breathing in the nose and out the nose, right up underneath this spot. In the nose, out the nose. We're going to reach up and we're going to plug one nostril. In that nostril, out that nostril. Switch. In the other nostril, out that nostril. Switch. In the nostril, out the nostril. Switch. In the nostril, out the nostril. Keep going. Breathing in the nose and out the nose, directly into this spot that was a challenge. All the way in and all the way out. right up underneath that spot, really feeling that spot, receiving, feeling that spot that you are now ready to claim, that you are now no longer going to put up with anything that isolates that part of you. You are now no longer going to allow any part of you to be rejected, to be abandoned, to experience injustice, to experience humiliation, to experience rejection. You are going to stand up, and now you are going to embrace all parts of you. No more playing small. You deserve more. The world deserves to have a whole, complete, healed you. And now you're ready to claim that in the nose, out the nose, in the nose, out the nose, really building up that energy, building up that charge, building it up, building it up, building it up, building it up, building up, building up, building it up, and then letting go. And now we're moving into stage 5. In stage 5, whether you're sitting or you're laying down, you're going to take your hands and you're going to put them palms facing away from you. Your hands are going to be over your head with your elbows bent. Okay. They're going to be up above your head. They're going to be in front of you at a comfortable distance alongside the head. And what we're going to do with our hands, we're going to be breathing in our mouth and out our mouth. And we're going to be finding a circular motion with our hands. The hands can move together. They can move individually, but we're going to find some type of circular motion. We're going to keep our spine still. We're going to move our shoulders. We're going to move right where our arms fit into our shoulder sockets. We're going to rotate, small rotations of the shoulder, which are going to create bigger rotations of the hands. Okay. We're going to bend the knees. Okay. If we're sitting down, we're going to bend the knees and we're going to allow our feet to create small circles also. Okay. We're going to allow our feet to move with our hands. We're going to find a movement in which our hips, our leg bones in their socket in the hip are making very, very small circular movements, which are creating a circular movement. It may be kind of like a bicycling type movement. It may be a circular type of movement with our feet. Our feet may be moving together. Our hands may be moving together. They may be moving in independent circles. Find a rhythm. Find a circular motion that your body just feels right. It flows into, breathing in the mouth, out the mouth, in the mouth, out the mouth, full and complete breaths in the mouth, out the mouth, circling the hands, circling the feet, synchronizing the hands with the feet and with the breath. Breathing into this circular motion, flowing into this circular motion with the hands and the feet, allowing the body to just take over. Keep going. Keep going. There's a challenging point that's going to come up. There's a point at which you're not sure if you're doing it right. There's a point at which the body might start to get a little bit uncomfortable. Okay. I want you to feel the space around the body. I want you to see this as if you're standing in the future looking back at what's going on right here and right now. If that's really uncomfortable, then do the exact opposite. See this, experience this from deep, deep inside the body. But keep moving the hands. Keep finding that rhythm of the hands and the feet and the breath in that circular motion, just to let go and allow the body to start taking over this motion. Allow the air around your body to start moving your body through the space that's creating those circular motions. In the mouth, out the mouth, in the mouth, out the mouth, like you're swimming through this field, like you're swimming through creation and reality. Circular motions with the hands and the feet, everything synchronizing with the breath. all the way in and all the way out. You're taking in all of reality and you're letting go of any judgments or illusions about how that's supposed to be or how you are supposed to be or how those around you are supposed to be. Fully breathing in the love and acceptance, letting go of anything that prevents that love and acceptance. Keep going, circling the hands, circling the feet, finding that motion, letting the body lead you into that flow. It doesn't matter what that flow looks like. All that matters is that you are doing the dance that your body is pulling you into. You're allowing the rhythm to move you. You're allowing the space around you to move you, to synchronize you with the real reality, the true reality that's behind and on the other side of our ability to perceive it. Keep circling around, keep circling around. While you're circling around, repeat after me. God, help me to confront my shadow or my light. Keep circling around, breathing in the mouth, out the mouth. Help me make peace with my illusions. In the mouth, out the mouth. Help me to let go of my judgments. In the mouth, out the mouth. Please help me to move through my illusions. In the mouth, out the mouth. Help me to find the truth. Help me to find the wholeness. Help me to find the strength behind all that I used to think was real. And relax. Let the arms drop down. Let the legs drop down. Allow yourself to feel the draw, the rhythm, the desire to accept and embrace all parts of yourself. Allow yourself to be drawn into the feeling and the momentum. Have the courage to experience the magic of the whole of reality. All the parts of yourself, all the parts of the environment around you, all the parts of humanity. Just accepting, just loving for what they are, and recognizing if there's a problem, it's not because those parts are, it's because they're out of sync, they're out of rhythm, they're out of harmony with the whole. So the more you focus on being in awe of the whole, the more you focus, the more we focus on loving and accepting the whole, the more energy and information we are releasing, we are emanating, that allow all of those parts that are out of sync to find their home, to find their rhythm. Pay attention to the space around you. Pay attention to the space in you. Pay attention to the movement. Pay attention to the breath. Pay attention to the flow of energy. What's different now? What if you could share what you're feeling now with all those parts of humanity that are suffering? Whether they're suffering so much that they're causing suffering, or whether they're just being the victim. Every time that you experience this place, this sensation, this reality, you're opening the door and energizing others to do the same. So when you're ready, come back, Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, move your hips, move your arms, move your shoulders. Sit on up. Come back to the computer. And I'm going to ask that everybody either type in or raise your hand and we'll unmute you and share a little bit about what you experienced with that. Let us know if you were able to find that rhythm. Let us know if there was a shift in how you experience yourself or how you experience the space around yourself.
Let's go ahead. For me,
yeah, go for it.
It was fun, actually, which was pretty cool.
Yes, you are fun, Barbara.
Yeah, it was, because like my body started moving, like my hips, almost so much that I was like rolling to the side, and of course it was like very fun, like yeah.
The Barbara roller coaster.
Exactly. Now I understand everything.
Good.
But it was good because yeah, I was able to allow my body to move, and it was pretty fun and all these things.
Yes, love it. Anybody else have anything that they want to share? Christine says that the energy that came up with the movements was vibrating. Yes, that is awesome. Shaking loose a lot of those things that we've been creating and holding on to that have created division within ourselves and in between ourselves. Good. I'm glad that you enjoyed that, Tasha, and I'm glad that Lucas is still sleeping so that you can continue to enjoy that. So keep up the good work. Keep shedding all of those things that are not real.
My body like totally went into the wave.
Yes.
End of that, like super intensely, and my chest came up really high.
Good.
And at first it was like a little like sharp, and then it all evened out, but it lasted for a long time. And when we were in stage 5, and like before I started the wave, my mouth did that, my jaw got stuck in that like ohm thing. Yeah. And then the wave hit.
Good. So. Yeah. So whenever you're in the office or whenever you're outside doing things like SRI, that move you into this, the wave motion that our body goes through, what that is that's all of the connective tissue and all of the soft tissue, like the muscles, moving and firing all the receptors, all the movement sensors into the brain so that the brain can reassess and ultimately let go of all of those what we call non-authentic patterns. They're the patterns of holding ourselves, the patterns of being within our body that are not authentic to who we are and or not authentic to the moment. So most of us, what I like to say in a simple way is that's our body unwinding and letting go of all those defensive patterns that we've been keeping us basically waiting for the next shoe to drop, rather than just being and enjoy the moment and totally being involved in a rapture of the moment. And if the time that comes up that we need to be defensive, we can always jump there, but most of us almost always live there. So that wave motion is suspending and dissipating all of those non-authentic ways of being. And whenever our heart comes up, that's going to come up much more so in the later stages of care, in what we call awaken care. And that's going to be whenever our heart, whenever that wave motion moves behind, through, and then eventually into the very front of our heart. And that's breaking down all of the inauthentic patterns that keep us disconnected from what's going on and those people around us. So, Yes. Yes, good, Tasha. So Tasha says she thought about those things that are in her old code and that do not serve as they're falling away. And that's awesome. We want to thank those things for being there and also acknowledge that they're no longer needed to be there, kind of like that loyal soldier that we talked about last night. So Christine said, having the body move in the rhythm together was great. Yeah, isn't that a really interesting sensation when the body moves you? And yes, Tasha, being able to be in your truth and aligning with you and who you truly are and want to be in the future. I love that. That is awesome. And Tasha, you are an amazing, amazing person to be with. And I'm so happy that you're starting to shed those things that are preventing you from feeling what everyone around you feels, which it's amazing to be around you. So unless there are any more questions, unless there's any more comments, want to thank everyone for joining us today.
Are you doing this on Saturday, or is this it for this week?
No, yeah, we're gonna do this every day until the governor releases us.
Right. Okay, so Sunday too.
Yep, Sunday, Monday, every single day until this is done. It's a big challenge I've given myself, but we really need to stay connected during all of this. So I'm giving this hour, I'm investing this hour in everyone.
Well, I really appreciate your taking the efforts with us. This makes a difference to stay connected with you in some way.
It absolutely does. Okay, so Barbara said, and I really appreciate being connected with you also, Christine, with all of you. So this is definitely not just one way. I'm just grateful for this opportunity. So Barbara said, at some point, can we talk about internal and external? Absolutely, Barbara. Keep reminding me about this. Tomorrow, I'm pretty sure I've decided to actually talk specifically about pain. That will come up in pain. We're going to kind of take a break from doing the daily exercises, and there's going to be an exercise that goes along with pain, but we're going to kind of move out of doing the stages because in order to get to the stages beyond this, we're really going to have to merge with every part of us, and one of the hardest things to merge with is pain. So we're going to talk about that specifically tomorrow. And one of the main reasons that most of us do experience pain on a regular basis is because we are going opposite our nature. So Barbara, if I forget to talk about that tomorrow, please remind me and we will go into some detail as far as talking about internal and external. Yes, good. I'm glad that you enjoyed that TAD talk. So Rachel said that surrendering to the galactic orgasm and becoming the fractal torus of the tree of life. Absolutely, because Rachel, that's what we are. And that's actually something in, surprisingly enough, in Catholicism, in studying what's called the theology of the body, that's one of the tenets that they talk about, is that orgasm is one of the gifts that we were given to give us a tiny, tiny taste of what our true nature actually is. Wilhelm Reif, who was a physician and was kind of one of the pioneers of energy medicine, he had this concept of orgone energy, which was the creative force in the universe, that force that sparked life. And he said that was the orgasm, or that's where the root of the orgasm was. So we all would be much, much happier and much better people if we experienced life as the orgasm that it is, and maybe even experienced a little more orgasms in our life. So I'm going to leave that right there.
So just so you know, her text said organism, not orgasm.
No, it needs to be orgasm. Totally, the organism needs to have an orgasm.
I agree. Just figured I'd point it out.
Yeah. Oops, Freudian slip. So thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Talk about the pain tomorrow. And let's see, Tasha says it felt like what happened to your cells was whenever Donnie worked on you. Yes, all of these exercises, Tasha, are designed to get the body and the person to move through those same stages that the adjustments do. So perfect. That means you did it awesome. All right, my friends, I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow. And then don't forget tomorrow also, Connie, what time is our wellness talk?
1:30 p.m.
Our wellness talk is going to be at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow. So everybody tune in to that. Share that with everyone you know. And again, just to remind you, if you are a practice member and you refer somebody and they show up, we are going to enter you into a drawing to win some cool stuff. So,
I will go ahead and put that in the chat really quick too. So
yep,
give me just
perfect.
a second to get that link to that event so that everybody can check that out and share it on their page or send it to a friend, whatever you'd like to do. So there's that. Clack, link is live. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Tad.
Yes.
You went to talk about like